what's plan B if the market doesn't support our price? And if you're going aspirational pricing is reserved where there's no comparables, a lot of times over 1 million, where there's few sales. You got to test the market. You want to leave meat on the bone because you're going to be dealing with a negotiation. You're looking for a specific buyer, all of those different elements in that bucket. So at the end of the day, aspirational pricing is a way to test the market to make sure you're not leaving money on the table. So if we're leaning more to the high range where we're testing the market, hey, Jess, what's your plan B if the market doesn't support our test price? Now, like what RMAX said was like, hey, what if your house sits in the market for 2 months? There's a little bit of hostility behind that statement. It's a little harsher, as opposed to just, hey, Jess, what's your plan B if we test this price out and it ultimately doesn't sell at this number? Because now I want to hear where they're at. Well, I'll take it off the market. Okay, so now I've got to make a decision and have a deeper conversation with the seller of, really their viability as a seller. Like if you're only willing to take a number that has a 10% chance of selling, is that where we want to put our time and energy and effort on the listing, right? If it's got a 10% chance of selling at that number and they're going to take it off the market in 60 days if they don't hit that number, if that's ultimately their plan B, I would follow up with that. So you're going to stay here, and how long would you envision staying here?
Seller kind of like that the other day, and I said, okay, let's do 550. She was like, well, I already am under contract at another place, so I need to sell for 575. So that's kind of puts you in a hard position because you're like, well, you already sold, or you already bought something new, didn't ask me sort of my opinion on how much you could net from this.
So that's a unique situation. Like, hey, what's your plan B if you don't get 575? Are you canceling the other contract?
Right.
Or are you pulling from savings? Like, which direction are you going there?
Well, she's using a bridge loan, so at least I know she's set, she'll be able to go through with her purchase there, but she wanted to completely pay it off once she sells her house.
So to me, this is someone who, because they've already under contract, and it sounds like they're going to move forward with that other purchase, they're going to do the sale. They're just being very hopeful that they can hit this higher number, because then it works out where they don't have a mortgage in the other place, but she has the financial capability to pull a mortgage. So at the end of the day, she's going to have to do what the market supports. So to me, that's somebody that you do want to move forward with, very viable. They have motivation because they're buying and they're under contract in that other location. Something else Tom Toole says a lot is like, hey, Cindy, can I share something that just concerns me with our situation about leaning towards the higher price? And so now you get, as opposed to coming in with like, hey, if we go a higher price, we sit on the market, we're screwing up our Hubbard. We get acceptance first. Hey, can I just share something that concerns me with leaning towards this strategy as opposed to the other 2 prices that we have available to us? Now, Sydney's going to respond with share that with me, walk me through that. Now I walk them through. It's how we set up a lot of the conversation on whether the seller's actually going to hear us or not. What's plan B if the market doesn't support? Not my marketing, not the price that I pick. The market's the one that's going to decide what's plan B if the market doesn't support the test price. If I come through with kind of like what RMAX said first, like, what are you going to do if the house sits on the market for 2 months? It's like, man, that's aggressive. That right there, that person might shut down in their mind. They're telling me my house is going to sit on the market 2 months. I don't want to move forward with this person. They're not the right agent. They don't believe in the house. And they may not listen to the rest of the stuff that you say. And you walk out of that listing appointment, man, half hour of it went great. And then once we started talking about price, I lost them. I didn't get it signed. And now they're ghosting me. It can be that simple. We want to be curious and invite the conversation in. Hey, I'm just curious. What's plan B if the market... I'm willing to test the price at the higher range. But if the market doesn't support, the whole point of a test price is to find out. If the market doesn't support that price, what's your plan B next, right? I'm asking with curiosity because I want the information so I can strategically build a framework to help them get to where they want to go. If they want to test the price at a ridiculous number, ultimately to pull it off the market come the fall and stay in the house for the next 3 years, then we're probably not the right fit to work together, okay?
How do you guide that conversation from that point?
All right, let's role play it out, right? Hey, Dustin, ultimately, like I'm willing to test the price out. That's why we have aspirational pricing, so we can test the market, make sure with very few comps like yours that we're not leaving anything on the table. I'm curious if the market doesn't support our test price, we're going to know, in our price range, it's probably going to be a 45-day process. And there might be some adjustments based on the home tour activity. I'm going to be collecting data throughout, sharing that data with you. But if the market doesn't support our test price, what's your plan B next?
If I can't get what I want from the house, then I'm just gonna, I'll take it off the market and sit on it.
So if we don't hit this number here, XYZ, you have no interest in selling the property at all.
No, I'm pretty comfortable here. I'm just trying to see if I can get what I want for it.
Is there any terms or any components of an offer that would have you considering flexibility in the price?
Yeah, I'm sure if there was, if they were allowing me some time to secure a new home, there was some flexibility in when I was able to leave, then maybe I would consider a lesser number.
And flexibility on how long you can stay at the property, or flexibility in other terms?
I think being able to spend some time securing a new home would be beneficial for me.
I got you. So Dustin, listen, the story I'm telling myself in my head, and like, tell me if this is like, if I just got a bad idea in my head, is that really you want to stay in the home that you're in.
Correct.
Okay, so Dustin, why don't we just focus on keeping you here? Sounds like this is where you really want to be.
Okay, so just don't even try and talk them out of it.
This business is about at-bats. I'm not going to be able to convince Ethan to sell his house if he wants to live there in the next 5 years. Or like, I'm not going to turn a concrete wall into sheetrock. It's concrete. If Ethan wants to live in his house, sometimes, because you got to get to really where they're at. They might have invited you over because their wife wants to sell the house, or the new girlfriend wants to sell the house, but she doesn't own the house. And he owns the house, and he's playing a game, a little theatrical game in front of her. Oh, I'm going to sell the house. I'm going to list it at this number. And I know it's not going to sell in 2 months. I'm going to rip it off, and she's going to have to stay here. Or by then we're going to break up. Like, people do crazy shit. So you don't want to be crazy along with them. But I mean, I asked a series of questions. Like, it sounds like you ultimately want to stay here. Now, if they were a real seller, they would have answered, well, no, I do got to get here. Okay. So now I could have said, so what's most important, price or getting there? I know both are important, but what's most important to you?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing, guys. Like, some people, obviously, they call you or reach out and say, hey, I would like to sell my house. That does not mean they actually want to sell their house. Like, it's up to you guys to really ask the right questions and find out if he's a real seller or if he's just wasting your time. It's like, I've gone on many listing appointments where I knew it was a waste of my time halfway through it.
I'd like to sell everything I own, but I'm not going to do it. I'd sell it all right now, but I can't. What's most important? I know both, Dustin, I know both are important. What's most important? What's plan B if we didn't sell? What's plan B.1 financially? Because I know right now you don't want to carry this mortgage and you're looking to downsize. If you stay here, what's the financial plan? Right? Like, just continuing to ask a series of questions. But what we did was we just basically got to the root of, we don't really have somebody in that situation the way you played it out that wants to sell.